Hi, Zizaran here, and we are going to look over the 3.20 Balance Manifesto with Curse. Our last three manifestos covered Jewels and Ailment Mitigation, and the replacement of Arch Nemesis modifiers and Eldritch Altars. In today's final 3.20 manifesto, I'm very sad about that as the final, and there's no crafting manifesto, hurts my feelings. We are discussing changes to curses, specifically hexes, and our goal in making their effectiveness against different rarities of monsters more balanced. Hexes are now stronger against unique monsters and at least twice as strong against pinnacle bosses, but weaker against regular monsters. Really? The Doom mechanic has now been removed to simplify the hex system. Anything related to Doom has been reworked so that it's comparable to before. That sounds interesting. Wait, why did they remove Doom? Was it too complicated for people? The Occultist Ascendancy class has had some stats removed and moved around to counteract some of the power gain from the above changes. That sounds like a nerf. And Feeble and Temporal Chains have been buffed. What the fuck? To aid the above... I'm using Temp Chains right now. To aid the above changes, some less accessible source of curse effects have been removed. This also acts as a nerf to Hex support builds. Hex gems have been rebalanced with the goal of ensuring that self-cast remains relevant compared to automatic curse application. Oh no! Oh no! Currently, Hex builds are at their weakest against monsters where they matter the most, and at their strongest where they matter the least. We've removed both of these. So we get a 66% buff against pinnacle bosses. Wow. More? 200%? Oh, you're right. It's huge. We're removing Doom mechanic, and as a consequence, we'll be making several changes. All stats that reference Doom has been replaced with other curse-themed stats. Hex boss has had its skill mechanic and damage adjusted to the account for the loss of Doom scaling. Impending Doom has also had its base damage roughly doubled to compensate for the loss. We've buffed a bunch of Hex-related uniques and have reworked unique items that previously interacted with Doom, such as the Faded End unique ring. We've also added some powerful new unique items that interact with Hexes. Cast speed in transient power charge. Your curse limit is equal to your maximum power charges. It's a lot of curses. Interesting. Heretic's Veil. Level 22 Blasphemy, 30% Restoration, +2. Ensuring self-cast is powerful. In most cases, systems that facilitate somewhat automated gameplay like Hex Touch, applying hexes automatically should either come at a much higher cost or be less effective. In some cases, both are needed to counterbalance the significant upside of automation. Otherwise, the option to automate will always be the obvious choice and eclipse other more interactive gameplay styles. We have added penalties to Blasphemy and Hex Touch supports, which grants less curse effect at all gem levels. Alright, are not evenly balanced when applied on Hex on hit modifiers. Some hexes like Vulnerability and Despair are much more powerful than others. This is because on a Hex on hit modifiers are equivalent to level 1 version, and some hexes are very strong level 1 relative to their level 20 power. This means that in some cases, Hex on hit is too powerful alongside its benefit of also applying them automatically. We're stabilizing the gem scaling. In general, they should be twice as powerful at level 20 than they are at level 1. To be fair though, you should be rewarded for self-casting a curse. It could end up being that self-casting a curse on a pinnacle boss now is like giga OP. It just seems like a change in how you build, yeah. And to be fair, like, automating curses is mostly useful for mapping, which isn't useful, right? You don't, unless you're a cultist, but then you don't care about the power of the curse. So, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. We're regulating the number of sources of curse effect throughout the game that will rein in the power of player building curse support characters. These changes have been focused on less accessible sources of curse effects such as Eldritch implicits. The curse effect notable have been replaced with other appropriate ones. For example, the ones that used to grab flammability effect now allows your flammability hex to apply to hexproof enemies and cause your ignites on cursed enemies to deal damage faster. That's a buff. That's huge. The Occultist Ascendancy class. We have removed 15% increased effect of your curses, and enemies you curse have malediction. Okay. Your hexes can affect hexproof enemies have been moved from Profane Bloom to the malediction notable so that it still does something. People still won't pick it. We'll be renaming this notable passive as it no longer is useful. Due to significant increase in power of hexes against tougher monsters, the effect of this notable is still very strong, as the removal of hex penalty cannot be understated. Hex is just +1 curse now. Malediction has been moved to the passive skill tree where it's available for everyone. This is important because while the occultist is still the strongest overall ascendancy for someone who wants to specialize, it's not mandatory to play. Wow. This is a buff? I don't like it though. I don't like it. Hot take, Ghost Dance should not be on the skill tree. They should stop moving ascendancy nodes onto the skill tree. Let ascendancies be special. Literally let ascendancies be special. Occultist and Trickster both became way less special after they put it on the tree. It's important that things have an identity. Not a fan. I mean, it's OP. It's a buff for us. The curse effect removed from the notable. Reading is hard for me. Never mind. Malediction's just gone. Never mind. Temp Chains currently reduces the pinnacle action speed by just 4%. You can get more than twice that much by using any skill that tilts. This is another case of hexes being weakest where they matter the most and strongest where they matter the least. I mean, no. Because Temp Chains is really, really good against trash monsters. So, I don't actually agree with that either. If you're running with a Quartz Flask through monsters and you have Temp Chains, they are never gonna hit you. So that's actually very good. Because, honestly, I am more scared of mapping right now than bosses. It's way rippier. It's way rippier. Because of the changes to curse effect, we're now able to make Temp Chains and Enfeeble strong without requiring large investment. In addition to changing how the overall, we're also planning to increase the cursed, rare enemies and unique enemies have less action speed on Temp Chains, as well as increasing the deal less damage on Enfeeble. Vuln and Despair. While working on these outlined below, we took the opportunity to make some stat changes to Vuln and Despair to help make them cleaner. They are now more focused on making enemies vulnerable to physical and chaos in a way that are generally useful for builds, stealing fists, and chaos. More specifics later. True, poison is massively buffed on bosses. Hexblast has had its skill mechanic and damage adjusted to account for the loss of doom scaling. Broadly speaking, it does less damage at the top end, but getting it fairly decent level of damage is easier than before. This was the manifesto I was the least excited for. And I think the reason was I felt like curses did not literally need to change at all. Do a crafting manifesto instead. I felt like they were fine. I felt like they were okay that they weren't that good against bosses. We had other tools. And they were really, really good against, Temp Chains was amazing against mapping. This is very whatever, I guess. Honestly, I don't even use curses that much. Okay, I'm annoyed that auto casting gets nerfed because it's so convenient and nice. But I can't say that it's unfair, right? If you're self-casting a curse, of course that should be a lot more powerful. Of course it should. And this could mean that bringing a curse to self-curse on a boss will be really, really efficient. So it did not really change my excitement for the next league, for the better or the worse. It's fine. That's my take on it. I really don't care that much. We'll see how it plays out. It didn't need a change though. Anyway, it's fine. It could be interesting. Either way, that's my take. Thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video. Feel free to give suggestions for anything you would like to see us do at 200,000 subs on YouTube. And sub if you liked the video if I didn't say that. Try to die less than I do.